Well, there's enough there for one cup for each. Maybe more. Oh.
Testing the sound, testing the sound. Testing the sound, testing the sound. Lower this a little bit.
Pumpkin spice latte. Maybe you can do that for me.
I can, but I'm just gonna have problems. I turned off the camera
Okay.
so you don't have to feel self-conscious. It's
What?
early.
What's the mic?
It's right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just testing it out. It works if the volume on the TV is low. So I think this will work. It's not the greatest, but I don't know any other way of doing it because like you have to have something that hooks up to the controller that will pick up both of our voices, right?
You mind if I steal something else?
Steal some of my what?
Coffee.
Oh, no, go ahead. Hello, Animus. Hello, how you doing? This was kind of spontaneous. I ended up waking up super early this morning, and I woke Lindsay up because I was snacking on...
Choking
well,
to death?
I was choking on pork rinds, but like, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I was up really early, and I decided to like, waste a little time because it was so dark out. I didn't even want to go out with the dog. So I sat here and I watched Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And I don't think I liked it. So
Really? Was it similar to the first one?
well, the thing is, I kind of feel the same way about it that I do about the first one. Where like the first one is like
Just mess around.
yeah, I know. That's why I said this is a good movie. Should we just... Yeah, that's fine. So, like, yeah, the thing is, I think what I don't like about it is there is something kind of, how do I put it? It's, it's the circle button to pull these things. So I haven't seen any of these hero movies over the last decade or so. I mean, you're not really missing anything, but like, my point is though, because I know people will just say, how do you run? I forget. Is it like R1? No, that's to move back. This is the crouch. This is the wings. Is it X? Yeah, and you hold X and you run. Anyway, I guess the thing with the first one is that that I'm not crazy about. Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry. I gotta gather my thoughts here. Why are you doing that? Leave that guy alone.
We could just do a regular stream.
No, this is fine.
Are we gonna go get a stick to beat me? Man.
No, he's gonna fix the fence, babe. Are you gonna let him kick you out? Okay, so anyway. So I was never a fan of the Miles Morales character. So start with that.
Because he's black?
No. It's because to me it's just lazy and derivative. I mean, Eric July said it, but I've been saying it longer. Hi, Teal Deer. And I think that, like, ever since, I think it was Bendis, this guy, the writer, Brian Bendis, ever since he revealed that Miles Morales was not Peter Parker, well, that Spider-Man was not Peter Parker, but was Miles Morales, it's been nothing but, like, cope, coming from every circle. Like, this is before there was ever a Spider-Verse movie, when the character was first introduced in the Ultimate Universe, and I just never cared for it. And the thing is, what bothered me a lot was, this is the thing, it's not really about the comics. It's not really about comic books. It's not really about that. It's about what, the fact that these people want to destroy everything. It comes back to that, as much as, like, nobody wants to admit it. So, like, yeah, there you go. Are you just going to have her ruin the flower again? Will she do it again, even though it's already been broken?
Yeah.
Alright, just let her do it. So the thing is that, like, So from the beginning, I thought it was like, why would they change this? Why would they change the Peter Parker thing? You know? And I never really understood it. I mean, at the time, I figured it was just like she knows that's you, babe. It's not gonna work. Yeah, she does. That's why she has those curly cues over her head. Yeah, let her just do that. So I knew that it was basically just like a thing they wanted to do, and it was, but nobody wanted to like accept that as a reality. Like they just didn't want to accept it. So instead, they would just pretend like that was, you know, like there was nothing sinister going on. And this was, like I said, like way back, you know, when this whole thing was really new, like before all this, you know, the video games and the movies and everything else. And I knew that from the beginning that the whole purpose of this was essentially to like replace the culture, to essentially alter the culture fundamentally. There was no other reason. And that was what I thought back then, right? So when the Into the Spider-Verse movie came out, and also when they added the Miles Morales character to like the Spider-Man video game, which again I thought the video game was good as a game, but like the changes were unnecessary, you know, but unnecessary, but absolutely necessary to these people because they're interested in changing everything. And when I say change, I don't mean like make modifications. I mean ultimately they're asking the question like, you know, what is a hero? Like why are some people heroes and some people not? It's like a philosophical question. You know what I mean? Or are you not listening to me?
It's hard to play video games, and
you can just not play them. I mean, we can just walk around. If you want.
What is he gonna do with that?
He's gonna try to fix it. See?
Oh.
I mean, he's not thrilled, but I'm kind of stuck on the other side over here. So anyway, so it's not just, you know, people think, oh, you know, you're just making this little change. It's not really a big deal, but it is. It's a really big deal because it has a purpose. It's not just like aesthetic. It's not just a small detail. It's not mundane. It is a fundamental shift. That's what they're going for. And it's always done in small steps. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So when Animus says I haven't seen any of these hero movies in over a decade, I get it, but that doesn't mean it's not going to affect you. And that doesn't mean that, like, you know, it's not about that. It's about changing the meaning of, or destroying the meaning of hero, of protagonist, of right and wrong, of good and evil, a story.
I agree that's what they're doing, but I don't agree that's, like, what their intention is.
No,
I think what
I
they're
mean,
thinking is, oh, like, everybody should feel like they could be a hero.
Right. But
like,
they may not know that, but, like, that belief, you know, that belief you're saying, like, everybody should feel a certain way or whatever, feel like they could be a hero.
Yeah.
See, that belief stems from a kind of resentment towards the fact that some people are better than other people.
Yeah.
It stems from that, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because, look.
No, but I think it's just, like, female thinking. And I don't think it's necessarily bad in all contexts. I think it's bad in, like, in storytelling, and especially about heroes, though, for sure.
Well, yeah, or anything that has to do with merit. Like, look at the way that they, and then there's other little things they do in the movie too, but I'll come back to that. But like, essentially, when Miles Morales was created, when it was revealed, okay, that he was the Spider-Man of the Ultimate Spider-Verse, or the Ultimate Universe comic book line, or whatever, I guess there was a lot of mixed reactions. some people were super pleased because finally, you know, a Spider-Man that looks like me, I guess. And this is literally what the guys said when they won the award for Best Animated Feature for the first Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse. They were like, oh, we finally have shown that anybody can be a hero. And it's such a stupid sentiment. It's so stupid. Like, first of all, there are no superheroes in real life. First of all, they don't exist. They're just an idea. It's an idea of, like, if you could, you know, if you had power, would you use it for good? That's all it is, right? It's nothing to do with race, but of course these people can't help it, or gender for that matter. So first of all, there's that, but there's also like a when the Miles Morales thing happened, there were people who didn't care for it, right? And I was one of them. I was like, what? Why did you change this? Like, we know Spider-Man is Peter Parker, and no amount of retconning is going to change that. Like, even today, even the biggest Miles Morales fanboys have to call him Miles Morales because he's not Spider-Man. If they don't specify, then, you know, you end up, I mean, you can't possibly, like, you can't possibly do that. Like, you're just, you know, like, it's always going to be Spider-Man. There's no, I mean, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. That's it, right? And they know it. They know it. So then it's like, well, why are you doing this then? If you know, and you even use the same language, you don't describe, you know, Spider-Man as anything other than, you know, Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Kind of ironic we're talking about destroying things while I'm destroying things.
Yeah. I'm just walking around. I don't
You
even...
like this here? Well, that's too bad.
Just accept it. Things change. It's the current year. And so, like, let me. I'm gonna put this down for a second. So, the initial, like, backlash was, there was a little bit of it because people didn't like the canon being changed. It's just like everything else, right? You take something, it's established, it's been around for decades, then somebody comes along and says, this has to change. There's not enough women, there's not enough people of color, there's not enough gays, whatever it is. There's not enough of something, and so we have to change this thing. Which only became really popular because a lot of people liked it, including people that belong to these supposed groups that are misrepresented or underrepresented, right? So it's like, black people read Spider-Man. You know, I read Spider-Man, right? So that's not really an excuse, but it doesn't follow, right? But even the people who made the film said anybody can be this guy now because we've officially made it canon that anybody can be this guy, and this canon thing is important because they're changing what canon is. They're basically like, it's again, like I said, they're fundamentally altering the meaning of canon itself, or just deconstructing it or removing it completely. Because ultimately, that's what they're. I mean, it doesn't matter if they want to do it or not. That's what they're doing. So, you got like all of the people involved with comics are trying to change this. They're trying to make all of this official, right? So Miles Morales was originally in its own separate universe, but that universe, those comics were failing. So, but they couldn't let that go, so they brought him into the mainstream comic book universe because they really wanted to make this happen, and it still wasn't happening. People still couldn't determine, they couldn't see it as a thing that was different. You know, they just couldn't. And so, like, the video game companies, like Sony, made a Spider-Man game, which again I thought was good, but they added Miles Morales to the plot, and then by the end he had powers too, and it was like they really wanted to make it happen. It was like, you know, and again, it has nothing to do with like making a good character, because at the end of the day, Miles Morales is the same character. He's just brown. Like, he's got the same problems. He lived in the same city. You know, they moved his family around a little bit. and they made him brown, but otherwise he's the same. He's like this nerdy kid, kind of invisible. Like it's just the same shit. Like there's literally no difference. And it was always a criticism I had of like any characters where they like try to do these like alternate universe thing. You can't sit still, can you? You just can't. You're not even listening to me.
I am listening to you.
Are you? All right.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I was thinking maybe I could just play and then you could talk, because I don't really have a lot to add.
Well, you might, because I mean, this is about like I think this is about like here. Let's sit in this pool for a second. This fountain. Anyway, so just I think that because it's not about, I know you don't know the comics super well, but it's not about that. That's incidental. I'm talking about something else. That this is just like a symptom of, I guess, or an example of. So like, but I'm trying to like spell it all out because a lot of people really cape for this character because they don't think there's any harm being done. But I think that there is. I think there's a lot of cultural vandalism that's going on here. I can explain. So again, they tried to make it happen. They put it in the video games. They put it in the comics. They put it in they made a movie, and it's all about like leading everyone to this point. And people would say to me, oh, well, if you don't like Miles Morales, Peter Parker still exists. And I'm like, yeah, for now. But like they'll probably get rid of it because that's what they've done. They kill off characters and replace them. And the whole thing is not to tell a good story. It's just to like get what they want. That's all it is. Like ultimately they want to control the narrative. And what does it really add? Like I said, what's the difference between Miles and Peter? There's no difference. Miles is literally a copy. But here's where the movie comes in that I thought was really interesting. So I know that, Lindsay, you've had criticisms of the whole concept of a multiverse, right?
Yes.
What's the problem with the multiverse?
Okay.
What's the problem with it?
No, I gotta stop.
Yeah.
Well, see, we're playing video games, though. So.
No, that's okay. This is...
The problem with the multiverse is that if anything happens in the multiverse, there's another verse that didn't happen in, so nothing sticks, and so nothing's very meaningful. So
there's no stakes, and things are yes, it's meaningless.
Yeah.
Everything is meaningless. It's nihilistic. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that, but in that it becomes meaningless, yes, because it's like everything and nothing at the same time.
Well, but I don't think that's an accident though. Like I'm saying, like look, good stories that have like satisfying rises in conflict and resolution have stakes. There have to be stakes, right? But if you can always just go to another universe, there are no stakes.
It is nihilistic. You're right, because why would you do anything moral or anything? Because like there's another universe where you've
done the right thing or whatever.
Differently. So like it's like a video game or something.
It is kind of, but
you can do whatever you want because it doesn't matter. There's another multiverse that like you're slightly different or you're doing slightly different actions and.
Yeah, so
like it makes your actions kind of meaningless.
Yeah.
Because there's no like you said, there's no stakes, there's no consequences.
Yeah, this is like somebody's like obituary letter, like from the military. No, but
they're being served.
Somebody's getting served. But like, yeah, if you in the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is a multiverse. I can do what I want.
Well, it's a video game, but the thing is, like, you're supposed. Video games is about exploration, experimentation. You know. Binky.
Play GTA.
Wait.
Dude, this game is way better than GTA.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, it's nihilistic. Like I said, if there's no stakes. And everything is permitted, then there's nothing. There's like no point. There's no point in plot. There's no point in having heroes and villains. There's no right and wrong. There's no good and evil. All of it is gone. And that's just where this leads. Now, comics have done, and other stories have explored the concept of multiple realities.
It kind of makes sense that like people being like, oh, we need everybody to feel like a hero, are also the people that are like, oh, the multiverse is a great idea. It totally makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, they're worshiping themselves. They're serving themselves, right? You want to take that? Okay. They're serving themselves. So why are they doing that? Well, because they're narcissists, and they don't it's as they say, if you Detilio says multiverse. Wait,
multiverse
is an in-universe canon, as an in-universe canon, I think, means to justify the existence of terrible fan fiction being canon. Yes, absolutely. It's about getting what you want. So like these people. Shuan had one thing right when she said, those folks that were on Tumblr talking about how terrible men are, this is them now. Like, yeah, they're working in the industry. They're bringing their fan fiction into the industry. This is the pub.
Best part.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. And they're trying to make that. He doesn't. Oh, does he care? No, he doesn't seem to. Yeah, so anyway, they're in the industry and they're changing things, and it's all about satisfying their own ego. Like, did you see those pictures I showed? I shared them on my Facebook page of like the characters that we've seen in fiction that are actually self-inserts. Like the April O'Neil, the April O'Neil from that new Turtles movie is a woman who looks just like her. And like the I Am Not Starfire, and Velma is like from that Velma show is Mindy Kaling. I mean, there is nothing more absurdly narcissistic than that. Okay, I'm not gonna do nothing.
No.
You did it wrong, babe.
I did. Can you honk at him?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. Let me see. Pregnant Peter Parker, Guro Voring, Green Goblin is canon in universe 271126-B by the comic bigot. Yeah, no, dude, but ultimately though, as dumb and as fanficky as this stuff is, ultimately the purpose of it, the consequence, okay, if I'm being charitable, the consequence is that nothing has meaning. That's what my main problem with this is. Would you give the old guy his stuff back? The geezer?
I inspired him, now he's gonna play that.
Yeah. So like anyway, that's sort of my problem with it. And so like, and speaking of pregnant, like so in this one, he goes into a place where it's like a world, the world of Spider-Man 2099, I think, which was a comic in the 90s where they tried to do this thing called Marvel 2099, and they have these characters that existed in the far future in the year 2099, and there was a Spider-Man and a Punisher and a Doctor Doom. I don't know what else. I didn't watch it. Maybe a Hulk. I don't know. But the thing is that they in this movie they kind of like call back to Spider-Man 2099, and it's one of the alternate universes, and it's also the universe where all of these other Spider people are from, like, it's probably an infinite number of Spider people from various parallel universes, which only makes Miles Morales' universe smaller, but whatever, right? And in it, so there's all these different Spider people, and of course there's a lot of diverse Spider people, and some of this stuff just doesn't even, like, they don't even care. Did he make it? Looks like he did.
He acted like he was all
they don't care that, like, that, like, they don't. It's, again, they're deconstructing the very notion of a superhero. So what I mean is, like, first of all, the uniqueness is gone because now you have a whole world where everyone is the same.
Right.
But there's little variations, and the most important variations are not in like their principles or their beliefs, but it's just their powers or their appearance, right? Like their diversity points, and that, I mean, you can see that in the movie. One of the characters is a Spider Woman. Now, in the comics, there was a Spider Woman, Jessica Drew, I think was her name, and you know, it was from the 70s. I don't think it was like a very like popular character, kind of a B-list character. But they made an alternate universe one, and it's a pregnant black woman on a motorcycle, and she's pregnant, and she's like fighting crime. And I'm like,
man, you shouldn't be pregnant on a motorcycle fighting crime.
Yeah, she's like fighting crime on a motorcycle while pregnant. But you see, this
sounds like a good idea.
No, it shouldn't be. But that's the thing, though. That's the thing. See,
anyone can be a hero.
Yeah, and like, well, the thing is too is that you can tell there are no stakes because all of the action in the movie, everybody's joking and talking, and they're like swinging around and fighting bad guys or whatever, you know, just like going about their business. No one appears to be concerned about anything. They're like, it's all about, you know, telling jokes and all of that. And so like, there are zero stakes. So naturally they'd be like, well, yeah, it's totally fine to have a pregnant Spider-Woman on a motorcycle. Why not? Because, I mean, nothing's going to happen to the baby. I mean, and she's literally like, you know, we don't know what the gender is yet, which I think is in every little thing is purposeful, right? So when they say we don't know the gender yet, and they say gender, you know what they're talking about, right? You know that they're talking about.
It could be any
yeah, it could be anything. We don't know. He hasn't told us yet, right? Or it hasn't told us yet. That's not an accident. Like, that's all stuff they do on purpose.
I get, yeah.
And also, again, what does it mean?
It is
like,
nihilism.
If you read,
again, it doesn't mean anything, does it?
Right.
None of it means anything.
None of it means anything. But if you
that's how you tell a great story, by the way.
Is to make everything meaningless.
Yes.
Well, that's what it feels like, right? I mean, of course, it is a movie, and so it has to have a plot, but. I don't think that the plot is. I think the plot is incidental or secondary. I don't think it's the main purpose. So, you know, and I know that people like these movies, and I know that people like Miles Morales, and they're not gonna like be thrilled that I'm saying this, but I don't think this is good. I don't think it's good fiction. I don't think it's good for the culture. I think it's terrible. And I will make another point. So the reason why the pregnant Spider-Woman thing is annoying is because when the thing about... What are you doing?
I'm kissing you.
Oh. Wait, hold on. Mwah. The thing about... yeah. The thing about stories that people like is that, like we were saying before, there are stakes, but also because there are dangers. Like there's you know, Peter Parker in the old comics as an example. One of the things that he was always concerned with was the possibility that, you know, a villain would learn about his identity, and that would put his family or his friends or his girl in danger. And that ultimately is a consequence, right? Like Gwen Stacy in the original comics dies because Green Goblin learns about, you know, Peter Parker's identity, and then learns about his friends, and that puts them in danger. This is a real risk. Like, it's a real thing. You want to take that flower back to the twin apartments? Maybe they'll
Which one?
where the two yards are, where the artist lady is. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
With the sculpture.
Yeah,
She
why?
might use it for something. Or you could bring it to the guy. He likes flowers, apparently.
Who?
The guy next door. The guy with the rose, the prize rose guy.
Oh, yeah.
Just follow me. All right. We gotta sneak
You grabbed
out
the other
though.
flower.
What? Oh yeah, here. That's not a bad idea. Anyway, so what was I saying? So like, oh yeah, so you know, the whole point is that Parker has to be concerned about. Let's go over here, and I will try to get his attention. And when he comes to this side, we'll leave the other way, because I think if we try to walk out the door, he'll bump us, and we'll drop the flowers, so we won't be able to go. You know what I mean? So you gotta play it smart. All right, let's go. Go, 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 run. He won't chase us too far. Oh, he wants his flower back, though.
What? This is my flower.
He knows his shit. He knows his shit. It's okay. Let's take the other one. We'll come back. Somebody. So these people are all. Everybody in this game has ADHD or something. Like everybody. They're like, I need all my shit to be exactly where it was, where I left it, and they know where that is.
Isn't
too.
That like OCD?
Or OCD? Yeah, OCD. You're right. I was wrong. It's not ADHD. Can we go back in the house?
Oh, I don't think so.
No, I don't think we can. There's got to be another. There's a shortcut. There's another way.
There's a lot of.
Yeah, there's shortcuts. We should have just taken those. Go this way, yeah. Anyway, so you know when you have a Spider Woman that can be pregnant while fighting crime, you remove that whole thing. On top of that, she's barely in a disguise. Like she's like wearing like goggles. That's it. Like she's got a big old afro, and you know she's like pregnant as fuck. So who the hell doesn't know who that is? Like, are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. But they don't care.
That is seriously the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I know. They don't care. No, we're in the beginning. We should go, Oh, I guess we could do it this way.
Well, it's actually his flower. Like in his part of the mini city.
Is it?
Yeah, so I wonder if he... Yeah.
He doesn't seem to care about the flower.
No.
Take that rose there.
I think they're tulips.
Oh, okay.
Dang, I don't know. They kind of look like tulips.
Anyway. Guru vomiting. So, you know, they do that, but I think the ultimate, like, argument that they're trying to make him come all the way over here. I don't think he's going to let you take it. But... I'm going to take his keys.
Oh no, I got stuck. Ah!
I know. I got his keys. He's probably going to come back for them. He broke the broom. Excuse me, ma'am. Leave me alone. Maybe I can make this guy buy his keys back.
Man.
Just let her have it.
I'm in an epic struggle here.
All right. So anyway, let me see. Josh Chasen and all these people nowadays with mental illness. We're not men. Okay, so the thing, are you hanging from her stick?
I am.
Oh. Put her down! Put her down! Oh, I'll grab the other end. Hold on. Oh, okay. That didn't work. It's unfortunate that we're just geese.
No.
Are you gonna draw on that?
I wish I could.
Yeah, I know. We're I'm sorry, but we're dumb animals. Oh wait, where are you going?
Just doing whatever.
Okay. So anyway, here's the thing that's kind of interesting that I think they did. I don't know if people caught this, but when Miles Morales was first introduced, and there was this big debate about whether or not multiple Spider-Men is a good idea. Of course, there have been. There's Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider. There was Miguel O'Hara, who's like the 2099 Spider-Man. But the thing is that when you experiment or play around with things like alternate timelines or parallel worlds or whatever, it's not that that's bad all the time. It's just that like we know that they are not the primary canon. They're not the prime story. They're just people messing around with different ideas, and then they let it go, right? It never becomes the only thing. No one ever said Miguel O'Hara is Spider-Man. They know that that's Spider-Man 2099. That's what they call it. Because we know it's not the prime one. If it weren't for the original, the others wouldn't exist. So it's like we all understand that when we were comic fans. That was just like what it was. Oh, I can zoom in with L1. Oh, we gotta don't. Let's go here to the yard. Bring that flower. So I don't think that's an accident, right? God damn it. But that's the way it typically works. And so then what happened in this movie is that they had the Miguel O'Hara Spider-Man and they had the Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider, but the Miguel O'Hara Spider-Man is what they're using to make their ultimate argument, which is maybe just put it there and see if he sees it. Oh, what's he gonna do with it?
Probably throw it over the fence.
Oh, well, that's not hers. Let's see what she does with it. We're gonna experiment with human nature.
Oh, I don't think she cares.
She might not, or she's looking at you. She doesn't seem to care.
Nah, she doesn't care.
Okay, well, that was worth it, I guess. All right. So then there's this. So the plot is, spoilers in case you were interested in watching it. Ever since what happened in the first movie with the Kingpin, and he was like trying to open a parallel world so he can get back with his family. So essentially, he wanted to like undo what had happened in his world by getting a family from from a parallel world, and the mess that made. What? I don't think we can. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go through. I don't think it's gonna go through.
Hello.
So anyway, ever since that, it made a mess of the multiverse time-space continuum, and Miguel O'Hara made a society of spider people from parallel worlds, and at one point, there is this scene where Spider-Man 2099 essentially tells Miles Morales that he's not supposed to exist. And it's like a big emotional part because the spider that bit Miles Morales was a spider from an alternate parallel world, and that he wasn't supposed to get powers that way, and that he was not supposed to exist, and that if it weren't for the spider coming through, then the Peter Parker in his world would not have died. So it's just, but the main point is that they're arguing is that the Miles Morales as a character should not exist. They're making the argument that fans have made, but they're doing it so they can tear it down by saying, like, canon is not like the end all be all. It's not important, right? And Miguel O'Hara is operating under the presumption, the Spider-Man 2099 character, he is like the avatar for the fan, the average fan that knows that there's something wrong with the way they're doing things. And that's the thing that bugged me, because I kind of saw it coming. Even though I hadn't seen the movie, I didn't know much about it, but I looked at trailers and some of the promo stuff, and I was like, I think that this Spider-Man 2099 is the villain, and the reason he's the villain is because he doesn't think that Miles Morales should exist. And this is something that people like me have been saying, people like Eric July have been saying, right? Is that it's not a good character. It's lazy, it's derivative, and it's shallow. It's basically, it only exists to score diversity points and no other reason. And I know that that's the perspective they're coming from, because they've said so when they won the award. And on top of that, you can see other little things that they do. For example, the parents of Miles Morales are they're learning from him. So they're learning from Miles. This is like a thing that they do a lot, where the youth are the wisest, right? The youth of the world, they know what's best, and that adults should listen. So that's one thing that I've seen a number of times. Another thing that I've seen is where there's a scene where Miles is talking to his father, and his father is, trying to like essentially get him to open up to him or something like that. And he's sort of stressed out. Or he's not talking to his father, he's talking to, no, I think he is talking to his son, I'm sorry. And his son says something about your generation's, like men of your generation's mental health. And like that, again, there are no throwaway lines. It wasn't funny. It was purposeful, So like these are, I don't think these are meaningless things, and all of this is a reflection of that. And it was like, oh, you did it. And it was something that I just kept seeing over and over, So like, you have essentially like, well, let me see what else there is. There's other things too. There's like Gwen's character is, she's like, well, the trans, like protect trans kids poster that they have in there. That's like a small thing. I know people like drill down on it because it was like obvious, but I don't think that was really as damaging, or at least to me, as troublesome as the stuff that I brought up. Are you gonna try and dress up the statue, or are you just messing around?
No, we're dressing around.
We'll see if he goes back to his seat.
I can't really add that much because I didn't watch the movie.
Oh, I know, but like the general principles that I'm bringing up, though.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see I think the thing is, when you see stories that put a, let's say, when you see stories that do these things, where they undermine fathers, they make children the wisest people, right? Because Miles is like 15, right? And they have unnecessary conflicts, like the stuff that happens in the plot to drive the tension and the conflict is so artificial. Like he gets into fights with his parents over nothing, over stupid shit, things that could have been avoided by just having an honest conversation. Like, nobody does that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean,
no,
right?
No, I know what you mean. That's a common thing in media these days, I think.
Yeah, right. Like, where it's like,
especially for like young adults.
Yeah, they're always, again, like they don't communicate with their parents. They're always fighting against them. It's just like, it just pushes rebellion, and it doesn't. I'm not saying you can't do it, but like when they did you saw the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, right?
Which one's that one?
That's the one from 2002. It's the old one. Sam Raimi, Green Goblin. The old one.
Yeah, I think I saw a lot of those, but they,
Well, it's not important that you saw it, but like when Ben Parker, his uncle, when Uncle Ben dies, right before that, the last conversation they have is that Ben is trying to share his wisdom with Peter, and Peter's not appreciative, and he argues with him, and that's the last conversation they have before Ben dies. And one of the things that Peter struggles with in those movies is that, you know, he didn't get a chance to really appreciate. He didn't appreciate what his uncle had to say.
Right.
So it's basically like you can have the conflict, but there should be something that you learn. I think, you know, that's what they're changing. Do you guys know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like,
so, like you're saying that they used to have like more meaningful like consequences to those kind of like those like negative interactions. So that's the conflict, is a negative interaction with your parents or whatever.
Yeah.
But then does it ever even get resolved?
Well,
it just like basically drives the plot forward because it's the conflict.
Yeah, I think that what they're doing now, at least with this movie I just saw, is that there has to be, they're basically like, we have to have a conflict, so we're gonna make one up, and they're not thinking about it like feeling like real, right? It's like a good story reflects reality. What does that mean? It doesn't mean that it's factual. It means that like what happens in the story would make sense. But because I think that there is a deconstruction of not just like comic book stuff, like that's an oversimplification. It's a deconstruction of what is good, of the story itself, of art itself. You see what I'm saying? And so because in order for art to work, it has to be based in something real. And one of the reasons why none of this works is because it isn't real.
Right.
Unless.
So you think that the conflicts that are happening, like especially the arguments between kids and parents, are like just ridiculous. They're not realistic.
The way that they're written here, yes. Well, and I think the part of it is to like push children away from parents or give children authority over parents. Because that's kind of what is going on.
It depends on what the moral at the end of the day is, right? Like,
yeah, yes, exactly.
Is the kid right?
Well, so here's the thing. Like with the original Spider-Man film, when Peter Parker finds Uncle Ben dying, and I'm only using Spider-Man as an example. You can find examples all over the place. So you don't have to like remember this movie. It's not that. It's about like the central point. Okay, so when he finds that Ben died, and he learns two things. One, he never got to make up with his uncle. He never got to like, you know, because they basically, their last conversation was an argument. So they were on bad terms. Imagine if you got into a fight with your mom, and then your mom died right afterwards, okay? And you got into a fight with her over something stupid.
Right.
Because that was what it was. You know, he was
Right.
trying to like, you know, earn money. He was like concerned about shit, and because he had just gotten his powers and he didn't want to tell anybody, and he was trying to make money because he wanted to buy a car, because he wanted to impress Mary Jane, right? That was the whole thing. And his uncle wanted him to open up. He was like, why don't you tell me what's going on? And of course Peter, because he was a teenager, he was like, you don't get me, Dad, right? Or Uncle Ben or whatever. And the Uncle Ben was like, okay, I'm going to give you some distance. And then after that, Uncle Ben is killed, okay?
Yeah.
And when Peter sees him dying, one thing that he understands is that he loved his uncle and he didn't show him that. So that's like right off the bat, right? And that their last conversation was negative, which is it's like he has tremendous guilt over. But then the other thing is that he realizes what's even worse is that Peter is the reason, or at least he believes he's the reason that his uncle died in the first place, because when his uncle was telling him, with great power comes great responsibility, that's where the line comes from, right? Mm-hmm. Because he wasn't responsible, he got his uncle killed by this random, like, carjacking guy, because he could have stopped him earlier and didn't, okay? And he didn't because he was thinking about himself. So That's the original story and the original movie that Sam Raimi made. But in this one,
Base.
it's completely different. It's actually pretty meaningless because essentially Miles Morales, sorry, he just wants to get his way, and he wants to rescue his father, which is noble and it sounds like a good thing, but he doesn't agree with his father. He thinks his father's kind of, dopey, and that and all of that. And right now it's like a part 1 of 2 type of thing. But I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna have him avoid the same fate that Uncle Ben had. I think that's the goal. And I think the reason is because they want to avoid all of these narrative things that happen to people that sort of develop them, right? Life is suffering. Life is suffering, right? That's a central point. And I think that this is going to try to undermine all of that. Again, it's part 1 of 2. I could be wrong, but I don't think I will be. I think that there's going to be a way out. It's sort of because again, the whole thing is that there is this, even though there's all these multiple universes.
This guy's my favorite domestic. I don't know why.
Yeah. Even though there are all these multiple universes, there is something that they call there's a prime canon. There are things that have to happen, and if they don't happen, it's sort of like Doctor Who in that way, that there's these hard points in time that you can't change. And one of them is that Spider-Man has to lose, someone. So your Uncle Ben, or in the case of Gwen, she loses her father, who is like a police chief or a captain or something. And you have to, because it's what moves the story forward or the canon forward. And if you break that, then you're gonna unravel everything, right? That's like the idea. But I think that all of that's just a vehicle or an excuse to push this thing. And I guess what I'm ultimately saying is that I think that is a bad way to structure a story, and you're gonna get bullied.
Okay.
What?
I don't really have that much to add.
Okay, well.
I said what I said about the multiverse. I don't know what else.
Well, I'm
the big. Okay.
All right,
I think that.
Let me rework this real quick.
No, I understand what you're saying. It's like this, there's this idea, honestly, of a Christian truth. I'm just gonna say it. Yeah. Because there's a morality to it.
Yeah.
That you shouldn't be thinking about yourself all the time. That he missed his chance to his last chance to connect with his uncle. And he could have even saved him, right?
Yeah.
So, that story is a lot more meaningful than a lot of stuff in modern day media.
Right, but if you let's pull away from the Spider-Man thing, because I think that it's too easy to get stuck in that particular web, no pun intended. But you're looking at. And what they're doing is they're building the case against stories themselves. They're basically trying to conclude that stories serve basically no purpose, because you can change whatever you want. There's this idea that, well, if I'm making it up, why does it matter, right? And
right, because they don't see stories as a way to get to some kind of truth, like a moral truth. Right. And the thing is, stories, they all have something if they're good. You can write a story about whatever you want, but the ones that are gonna last, they're gonna have some of that in there, or a lesson of some kind. There's plenty of film or stories that are tragic, and but that you still why they're tragic, right? Maybe ancient Greek myths can be a lot of fun, but so why do they last? Are they actually
I don't know, like, do they have a Christian truth? Probably not, because they predate it. But there might be something close. It could be closer to like Aristotle or something, which is sort of similar, right? But nonetheless, I mean, they only work if you like Hercules killed his family in a drunken rage. I think the Hera did that to him or something like that. But then like his labors were to essentially repent, right? Or make amends. He had to make things right. Mm-hmm. So I think that's like an important, what's over here? An important detail. I'm going to get a refill of my coffee. Can I grab this stuff? Okay. It's like a hair salon. What is that? A boutique? All right, I'm going to get a coffee. I'll be right back. I don't know, guys. What do you think? We can talk about something else. I know that you had something in mind, but I do think this is like not irrelevant. Well, you were talking about like Pearl's videos or something. Oh yeah. So, let me get my cup. I'll be right back, guys.
I don't know if I can talk about it, like just
you don't have to.
Off my head, but that's the reason why I like Pearl's content, is that she, especially like her like morning coffee ones, is that she just talks off the top of her head, and I appreciate that, because it's something that I'm not really confident in doing. Yeah. Because I think I'm gonna get stuff wrong, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, you suck."
Yeah, I know. No, that's true. But the thing is, I think it's good to like just say what you're thinking about.
Well, and then you get. I think it's actually the fastest way to grow, because then you get feedback. I mean, grow your ideas, not.
Yeah.
Because then you get feedback right away, and people will be like, "Oh, like maybe not just you suck, but like you're wrong about this particular thing because of these reasons. Have you thought about it this way?" And then like, like you kind of go down another path maybe, and like reform your ideas.
Yeah.
And so like I find Pearl kind of an inspiration.
I got something interesting that I would like to share.
I wonder though, like, because I know she's very like clickbaity.
Yeah.
I wonder if that like is the main reason why she's grown so much.
I think that's a big part of it. Sure, if you can like get people's like jimmies rustled, I think it does get you a lot of attention. The haters help, monetize your haters, as Eric July says.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
My hot take is that I think we need patriarchy. If I was Pearl, that would be like my next hot take. I like patriarchy because I like civilization.
Yeah.
I won't explain anymore. I'll just leave it there.
So there was this. Okay. So on Facebook, right? We used to have a Honey Badger Radio official Facebook group. I was an admin, but I never did that. I didn't. I was just like, I would just go there and post things and share videos. Like if we were gonna do a stream, Good morning, Brian and Lindsay. It says Kaiser Durden EX. Hello, Kaiser. So anyway, there was this. We were in this. We were in this group, and the group got shut down by Mark Zuckerberg like years ago. Years ago.
What was it called?
It was just the official Honey Badger Radio Facebook. It was like a fan page,
yeah. Hey,
right?
Is there any coffee left?
There's a little. Go ahead.
Okay.
So anyway.
Just honk when I get in there.
Yeah, it's fine. So anyway, there was she's gonna put you in the trunk apparently. Oh, okay. Anyway, there was our page got shut down for hate speech or something, and oh my god, I suck. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna run. I got pushed out. It's okay. So it got shut down, and like there was this woman. I guess she was one of the members. She's gonna be a guest on my show in a couple weeks because
pumpkin spice latte.
I'm friends with a bunch of people that were in the group, right? And so this woman made a post, and she was talking about how the men's movement or the honey badger group or whatever was essentially like, she said it was infiltrated by traditionalist extremists.
Okay.
And she gave a talk in Ottawa, so I guess she's Canadian or something. Well, I don't know. She describes herself as an American equalist who writes about gender issues focusing primarily on sexual and domestic abuse. She has a left-leaning but non-feminist approach to gender and a penchant for debate.
An equalist?
Yeah, an equalist.
What the hell does that mean?
You know, it sounds like egalitarian, which is something that I used to call myself till I woke up and smelled the coffee. So like, she was basically saying that like there's people in the honey badger group that were like essentially what she called traditionalist extremists.
Okay, were they asserting their views on everybody else? Like, you have to believe this or you're not in the
I don't know. I never really saw anything like beyond the pale, but like, the thing is though, the weird thing about that, because this is the thing that I was like, okay, so what, first of all, I know that there are, let's define our terms, because when people hear marriage, children, family, they immediately they use the word tradcon, and then there's all this negativity associated with it, okay? And it makes me wonder, like, what do you think people want? Because like what are the other options? Like, what is it? Like, you either get married, have a family, or you don't get married but you still have a family of baby mamas, or you don't get married and you don't have a family. So, is there another option I'm not aware of? Is there like a fourth way? We've already done what? All of those things? There are people who don't get married, don't have kids. There are people who don't get married but do have kids. They have baby mamas all over the place. Or there are women that are just banging whoever. And then there are people who get married and have kids and stay together. What? Are you tired of living under the tyranny of benders? Join the equalists. For too long, so for some reason it's not showing up here. For too long, maybe I'll change it to all comments. For too long, the bending elite of this city have forced non-benders to live as lower-class citizens. Join Amon, and together we will tear down the bending establishment. Amon, oh, okay, Amon from Legend of Korra. So like,
I just want to say, Fielder's still there. I really like the couple videos you guys have done.
The last two long-ass fucking streams?
They were good.
I like that too.
The weirdest thing about it is, like, I think that, like, she's totally batshit insane, but I think it does capture the way that a lot of women think. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, I don't think she's lying.
That women are batshit insane.
I don't think she's lying. And that's the thing, like, I think that there is something true about that, and it just makes you wonder, because like, we've been asking women to step up for 10 years, and some have, but a lot have not, and I don't see that changing. So maybe men do have to, like, just, put them in line. I don't know. Solar plexus. Yeah, exactly.
I actually do have
go for it. Go.
I can't. You gotta run over here.
I know, I am. I'm going.
I do have something else to say about the multiverse.
Yeah, okay.
And I just lost it.
Is it about nihilism? Is it about meaninglessness? Because that's what I think it is, babe, honestly.
Oh, I know what it is. It's like, you don't play... I'm like literally playing a game without any rules. But you usually don't play games. Well, I mean, there's still constraints. This isn't like an infinite thing.
There are rules.
An infinite amount of actions in this game.
Right. There's totally rules. Like, you can't. Yeah. Like, we're just geese.
Yeah.
That's
what makes games fun is
that you're working within restraints.
Yeah, with some restraints, and like I think like that is a truth because it's the truth of reality. We live in reality. It's like you said. What are the options? You get married and have kids. You don't get married. Or like what? Like what are we are human beings constrained to reality. Like,
we're limited.
Options?
Our physical bodies are our limit. So either
become part of the machine.
Yeah. So like
I don't know.
So if there are people in the Honey Badger Radio Facebook group, which is no longer in existence, but if there were, and there's like a mixture of men and women, but it's probably mostly men, and of those mostly men, most of those men are looking to get married, find a woman that's good and virtuous and cares about men and wants to get married and have kids. How the fuck is that extremist? That's what I'm saying. Like when she says traditionalist extremist, I don't know what that means. Like, I'm sorry. I know there are people who don't like tradcons. I get it.
Yay.
Fine, that's your business. But most people want to live that life. They want to have family and children. I don't know how that's extreme. I don't know how that's negative. Does that mean that they have to guard themselves against the problems with the system? Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with being MGTOW either. Like if you don't want to have kids and you want to avoid women, I don't think that's bad either. I'm not going to shame anyone for those choices. But I don't think that and the thing is, this is really funny, is that the people like this woman and what they will shame conservative, or not, I don't even want to say conservatives. They will shame people who want to get married, whatever you call that. I guess that's conservative. I guess that's where we are now. But they don't want them to go MGTOW either, because you've seen how MGTOW get treated, despite the fact that they're just.
So what are you supposed to do then?
I know. I'm saying, what are you supposed to do? Think about it. Look, feminists like Laura Bates, she's just one example. They hate MGTOW, okay? They hate them. Why? Why? And they're just well, they don't want to be around women because they think that women are evil or whatever.
That they should just go your own way and shut up and don't say anything.
just go your own way, but don't actually say anything, right?
Don't say anything about women.
This is another one of these paradoxes you're supposed to embrace, where women don't want men to feel entitled to them, but they also don't want men to avoid them. So it's you don't want either. You don't it doesn't make sense. Do we just I don't know, should they just not vote? should we just bring back arranged marriages? I don't see how any of this makes any sense.
Nah.
Well, that's what the Amish do.
They have arranged marriages? Dude, I think honestly that would have saved me a world of hurt.
Yeah, right. Saved me a world of hurt too.
Cause I was dumb in my 20s. I wasn't thinking about any of this.
Yeah. Exactly. So I don't know. I'm gonna have her on. She wants to debate me on this. I just want to know what are you offering? Because if you don't want men to want to be in traditional marriage, and you know that our population is collapsing, and you also probably don't want men to be MGTOW either, what the fuck do you want men to do? What's going to be acceptable? Teal Deer says, children provide material purpose. We must eschew such material conditions and resonate with the universe to transcend into being of pure vibrational light. The Akashic records must be found. Yes. Where's my... Oh, yeah, there I am. Well, the thing is that they are anti-children, like Allison said, but I think that only means that they're nihilists. They don't have an investment in the future at all. That's the thing too, right? If you encourage women not to have kids, then there's literally nothing that is keeping them from doing anything outside of just pursuing material wealth.
Right.
There's nothing else. Why is there so much waste?
I always thought it was weird, when I was in my 20s, like I said, I wasn't thinking about marriage or like I wasn't even really dating. Like I didn't care about any of it. I wasn't thinking about having kids. I thought, oh, I'll never want kids. That's not true.
Yeah.
But what I noticed is that the men that were like the same age in their 20s, they did want to get married. They did want to have kids.
Yeah.
Like, I was told the opposite. I was told that like men don't really want that. They just want to sleep around. And,
yeah.
Like they don't. They don't want kids.
Some men do like that, but I think that they feel like they have to because that's what they think women want. So these like red pill guys, they're always going on about that, right? Like, but I don't think like I don't even want to call them red pill guys. Because I think that just being like a man whore that's pretty blue pill in my opinion. But I think that those guys, they're the ones that like measure each other's worth by how much pussy they get and stuff.
Yeah.
That's not masculine. I'm sorry, it's not. And it's not. I don't think it's attractive either. Oh no. You're gonna kill that dude. He's too old.
He's my friend.
Play it.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Oh.
Play it again, Sam.
Wait, let me see. I want to see if they like it. Do they like my music?
Nope, he's gonna take it from you.
He doesn't know what he wants.
Telia says, unironically, I'm not even memeing, that's what they want. Yeah, I know.
Yeah?
Oh, should I like come over there?
Oh, they clap, babe.
Yeah, they do. You didn't know that? You have to bow. Well trained. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, you can have it back. Calm down.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. So there's another guy I'm going to be talking to, V for Vernon Meeks. He's like another MRA, but he's like super, like Ayn Rand libertarian guy.
I was like really liking his takes about the COVID stuff.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he's super libertarian, so.
Yeah.
But again, though,
I have a lot of disagreements with
there's a lot of disagreements too. You know who really pissed me off? Do you guys know who Yaron Brook is? It's Yaron.
He's a libertarian
Brook.
too, right?
Oh, he's a super like Ayn Rand objectivist libertarian guy. And he has like a bug up his ass about Elon Musk for some reason. Elon Musk, yeah.
I thought you said Elon.
No, I meant to say Elon Musk. And not like the Thunderfoot bug where it's like, oh, I just don't like him because he's like making more money than me and that he's like, I don't know, pro free speech or something. I don't even know what Thunderfoot's problem with Elon Musk is. But Elon Musk recently put out a tweet, I think, that said, if you lose your job because you reacted or posted something on Twitter, I will like fund your defense, right? Like for a lawsuit, like if somebody fires you.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he was like, no limits, right?
That's insane. He's insane.
But Elon Musk?
Elon can change the culture by himself.
Yeah, I know. Well, sometimes you need people like that. Now, look, I know that people might say that there are some, potential, let's say, ethical problems with this technically. But here's what Yaron Brooks said. He thought that was anti-freedom. He said he said that people should be able to, because employers should have the right to hire or fire people for whatever reason, right? And that there are no exceptions. But I don't think that he understands what's going on here. His whole thing is, well, what if they're anti-Semitic? What if they're racist, right? Should you have to keep... It's like, well, if they are, they're probably not going to win their case. But, like, the thing is, you don't seem to understand what's going on. People aren't losing their jobs because they're literally doing, like, racist shit or hateful shit. They're losing their jobs because they think that men and women are the only genders. That's what they're losing their jobs over, right? So, like... Right. Yaron Brook is leaving that out. His libertarianism is getting in the way. Like he doesn't see that this isn't like a small business owner disagreeing with like a Klan member that wants to have a job there. That's not the issue. You know, he's disagreeing, or Musk's problem, and most people's problem, is that there's this DEI shit, and it's essentially telling people, you know, like how they should act, what they should agree with, and basically to accept lies in place of reality. You know?
Yeah.
Let me see what Tealder says. Magic vagina juice on your penis makes you worthy. Become anointed and baptized in the new religion. Amen and a woman and a human and a gender. Saul Peter Taffy says, I'm convinced Thunderfoot is pandering to his fan base with the endless Elon hate. Pure cynicism. You mean nihilism. But yes, well, cynicism is nihilism, basically. So yeah, I mean, like, it is.
No, it's not.
Why? Why not? Doesn't it just lead that?
Nihilism is like there's no meaning. Wouldn't cynicism mean that there's like everything is just shit? It has meaning, but it's shit. I don't know. You might be right. But yeah, like Yaron Brooks' thing, Lo, is like I said, he's like, I think that it's just not correct. And Vernon was, you know, his whole thing was he was going on and on about essentially that because he's MGTOW, he thinks that all men should be MGTOW, and I'm like, well, that's just not realistic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
it's like we can't be programmed to do that. And also,
I mean, I understand the sentiment.
I understand the sentiment, yes, but I don't, like I said, it's not going to happen. Like, most men,
I do.
It's not even just because they want to have sex, by the way. It's just that most men don't want to, they want a companion. That's what we're evolved for that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But I think that there is more of a problem on the female side.
100%.
So like you can't really change people. I mean.
Yeah, but okay. Let me put it like. Let me do this. I think you're right, but I think Vernon thinks that men should just be allowed to stay home, work like a job that's just enough to like put food on the table, play video games and Magic the Gathering and do nothing else, right?
I get it. I don't think that's healthy.
No, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't think men will be happy. You know, like I think that like I said, I think that men need a higher purpose. You know, you may not like it, but I think it's true. And I think that most men like would like that. It's gonna make it's where they're gonna get satisfaction. Uh-oh, we're gonna get caught. I'm gonna go under the table. Sorry, lady. She's like, oh, I lost some drat. She gonna turn that off?
Oh yeah, I do.
Toby says MGTOW is not possible so long as Jewish and Indian mothers exist. And Asian mothers. But yeah, you're right. That's right. Is it gonna like overflow? She's gonna.
Oh shit! I can't go that way. I thought maybe I could.
You got the boat. You got the boat. It's okay.
You're not gonna put it back in the sink, is she?
I don't know. She might. She might just turn off the sink. And you know, and so like I just think that we have to operate in reality. I think that like the truth is that most men and most women want to pair up. Feminism tries to keep women apart. But I think and it does work. I mean, like that's another thing too is that wow, and the water drained out too. You gotta like get her attention, babe.
No, you do. There you go.
What's up, bitch? What's up, bitch? Oh, shit.
Wah.
Get under the table.
I'm under.
Metal Gear Solid theme intensifies. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's go. I had Dr. Randomcam and Lauren play this. It was fucking hilarious watching them try to coordinate their actions. Fucking great. Saltpeter Taffy, what's up? Were you gonna put it in the water?
Set it free.
You are free, boat. Go! Where's it? Where? Right now!
So like we were talking
right
about
now! Yeah.
the multiverse stuff, like how you need constraints.
Yeah.
Well, you don't even need them. It's just the reality. It's like the truth of the world. Is that you have
exactly.
constraints.
Yes.
So like I think part of the problem with MGTOW, and don't get mad at me, is that like you have to live within these constraints, and you probably do want companionship
Mm-hmm.
and like to reproduce. I mean,
even Stardust has lamented his own loneliness. I mean, he's like the Archduke of the MGTOW. He's like the cardinal, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, because we do have these limits, and the thing is, as you get older, like I'm gonna turn.
And I think trying to ignore them and like pursue, like this is something that I've had a problem with. Is like I want to pursue freedom, but you don't know like how to be free. Like, is going on vacation freedom? I think what I've learned is that freedom is like knowing those limitations and those rules and applying rules for yourself. Like, discipline is freedom.
Yes, it's like what's his name? Jocko said.
Yeah, Jocko says that. So like I think that like you could definitely be MGTOW and have discipline, but I think like the constraints of life, like you have to like work within them. You can't just like.
Yeah.
If you're just like idle all the time playing video games, as we're playing video games, I think it can like lead to.
Well, it's just in the morning. We're gonna do stuff
I think
later.
it can lead to self-destruction, if not like.
Absolutely, it's like eating whenever you feel like it. It's like
right because you're not following the rules of reality.
Yeah, the reality will come and get you, because like that's just it. Like feminism is all about avoiding reality, and I think that in a way, MGTOW play into it and they try to create their own reality, and they run into the same pitfalls. So
right.
When Vernon says, "Well, men should be able to," he was specifically. I remember when I talked to him a while ago, he was specifically saying that like there shouldn't be judgment for it, and it's like, why do you care about judgment? Like that's like the least important thing,
right?
You know.
Well, and then
you're
probably reacting to your own self-judgment.
Yes, exactly.
Because
you're trying to control other people's judgment, but it's your judgment that you're worried about.
Yeah. Do you kind of feel like there might be something off here?
Yes.
Like there's not a lot of meaning you can derive from just like your job and playing video games, and that's it. Like you need something else.
Well, yes, and I've been saying that men need a purpose. Are we supposed to break this?
Yeah. Destroy the highest.
It's a church.
I know.
I just realized it. Goddamn godless Brits. Hold on a second.
Geese.
Pull it.
Yeah,
but this
we don't have souls.
This is an English game, though. Give me that bell, goddammit. This should be like a level, but I don't know why it's not. So. Uh-oh. Is there anything over here? No. Alright, stop it. Okay, so Toby says, think about it though, what would it mean for all men to actually be MGTOW? How long would society / women / government put up with it? Yeah, not at all. In fact, they're
Dude, it's already falling apart.
They're panicking now. That's why all of a sudden everybody gives a shit about what's going on with men. But they haven't asked a fundamental question.
No, and it will. Like, people will start acting like they care more and more about men because, like, our civilization is going to collapse.
Yeah.
There's going to be war.
Hey, Matt.
mean, like, men are suddenly going to become important again.
Yep. I mean, yeah. Well, they already are because you like war.
I think men are just like basically superheroes. So like, but
yeah.
Like, I mean, never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
Well, that's another thing too. Is that like, don't ring the bell, babe. You're gonna get their attention. If they get the bell, they're gonna take it all the way back to the church. So even those African ladies want their shit back. Oh shit! Wait. Those ladies
what do you mean by that?
Well, the ladies that were the only people that were nice to you. Go 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 go.
You like when I run.
Oh, it just rings when you run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I wasn't expecting her.
Wait. Yeah. See, even these people. Give me that. Go, 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 go!
Into the water! Oh shit, I can't.
Go across, just go across. Babe, leave it.
I thought I could go in the water though.
Yeah, you can't. I think we gotta go this way. Oh shit, wait.
Open it.
I can't open it.
You can't?
No, you gotta go the other way.
Oh no.
Just like through here is okay. I don't know why that wasn't open.
Oh, this one's not either.
Oh shit. Okay. I think we may have jumped the gun here.
No, I think they do that when you grab the bell because
Everybody locks up. So you know about the long way. Yeah, we got to go through the yard.
not get caught. Oh shoot.
Don't let her see you. They're looking for the bell.
You're going too fast.
Okay. All right. Just wait and see what she does.
Oh shit, she saw me. Oh no. Oh no.
Pull it down. It's okay. We're gonna do it. Go for it. Where's that guy?
Can we go through this way? Oh shoot.
No, we can't go that way.
Uh-oh. Be sneaky.
Oh shit.
Oh shoot. Never mind.
There might be another way out over this way.
Yeah. There it is.
I'll get you!
Fuck your sign.
Okay. What were you saying now about? Oh yeah, you know, it's funny. When that reminds me of a video by Aiden Paladin. It's crazy because all this stuff seems to be like connected. So Aiden Paladin made a video a long time ago about play and how the difference between the way boys play and the way girls play.
Oh really?
Yeah, and so when boys play,
I think Jordan Peterson talks about that too.
Yeah, Peterson talks about it too. But when boys play, they create like a sacred space, right? You could call it a sacred space. It's basically like the where they operate.
Uh-oh. Man, she's fast. She doesn't fuck around. Run.
Yeah, run. She is fast. She's catching up. I mean, you're not exactly built for this.
Oh no, the little boys after?
Yeah, dude, it's all bets are off. It's war. Yeah, everyone who was your friend is no longer your friend. Let me just we'll get it from her. See, now you're gonna have to get past them.
Yeah, they're like a barricade now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta wait until they spread out. Wait. Okay, go. Just.
Man, this would have been way easier if we were sneaky.
Inside.
Oh no, I
you dropped it. You dropped it.
It's because she scared me. She got too close. There we go.
Okay.
I don't sneak in games.
Now it's just the farmer. I think.
Oh, look, he's standing there waiting for me. Ah!
Do it. Get in the water.
Humans can't go in the water. Wait.
No, he can to a degree. But if you go deep enough, I don't think.
Oh, he's still coming. Ah!
He doesn't care. Now we're away. Anyway. So boys create a sacred space, and in that space they create rules, right? Like, I mean,
What kind of rules?
like whatever the game is.
Oh.
So when boys play, cops and robbers, or hide and seek, or Johnny Tag. Have you guys ever heard of Johnny Tag? You ever hear about that?
Nah. It's hard. It's hard to play like pretend like. It's like pretend now we're done. We're not really.
That's okay. We gotta wait.
When you're like playing like a game where like you're pretending to shoot each other, and then like the person that gets shot has to pretend like they were shot, and you're like,
That's
no,
usually.
I want to keep going.
Yeah, that's usually when you run into problems. Is that like But like we used to do when I was a kid, there was like Johnny Tag, there was Freeze Tag, but they all had rules. Like that was what made it fun, is you had to operate within the rules. If somebody wasn't playing by the rules, then they weren't having fun. They weren't. Well, they were making it less fun for everybody else.
Exactly.
Is what I'm saying.
They make it less fun for everybody.
Yeah. So like, and I think that is. You could say that is like a model for life, and maybe that's why those games work.
Right.
Outside of our physical limits as humans. Like we can't play a game where we're just flying around the city because we can't fly. So, we're working within that. And I think that so we're looking at two sides, right? So we got like this person who's just like a lefty that's anti-traditional.
Keys are still there.
Oh yeah, the keys are still there.
Poor guy.
This poor guy. So you have this lefty, and she's like concerned about, I guess, traditional people who want to live a traditional lifestyle, and that being a problem. And I'm like, well, what is the alternative to that, right? I'm not saying that we promote it. I'm saying if people want that, then they should be able to have that, right? And then you have the other side where it's like everybody should be MGTOW, and like. Which is sort of like, it's funny because she agrees with her apparently, essentially, right? But okay, fine.
No, it's fine.
Okay, he agrees with her essentially, but his reasons are different, right? Because he thinks that like ultimate freedom means like that you shouldn't have to get married. Nobody's saying you have to.
Yeah.
But the truth is, most people will want to.
Yeah.
And even the people who say they don't want to. When they get, like, I'm going to be 50 in a couple of weeks, okay? So when you get up into your, like, middle age or even later, you might look back and be like, especially when you start getting sick and, like, you get disease and you think you're going to die. Like, and when your parents start dying, I mean, that's going to happen. Like, that's the thing about... The reality is we're all only here for a short period of time.
Yeah.
So like, what are you gonna do with that time?
Those are the rules of the game.
Yeah, those are the rules, exactly. Like there's no there's no immortality. What are you gonna do? And so I don't think it's fair to lie to people about that reality.
Right.
So
Well, and I think like one of the problems with a lot of like modern thinking, I'm not really sure how to put it, but like this idea, it's like I don't know what it should be like, but just not this.
Yeah.
Just not this.
Yeah. I don't know what it should be, but it shouldn't be this.
I haven't really thought about all the different modes of life, like having kids, not having kids. Like, there's probably infinite, but I just know I don't like any of those.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, what are the constraints? What are the realities?
And that goes back to, like, it actually does fit in with my thoughts about this movie. And the multiverse idea is this idea that there's infinite possibilities, and there really isn't.
Right.
Right? I mean, there's just this life.
You know what's interesting, too, is I think you can get lost a lot in the infinite possibilities. Like, thinking about, like, how, like, life could be better, or how, like you could imagine a world that's better, like a utopia, or simplification of, like, what you think that the world should be like. For example, being, like, everybody should be MGTOW, or like everybody should be, what was it, equalist? I don't even know what that
Equalists,
means.
yeah, equalist.
Yeah, like that's
Yeah, like that's another thing too. I gotta address
Goofy.
that. There's no such thing. Like, let's be real, guys. Not only are not men and women not equal. Sorry, it's true. But men are not equal to men, and women are not equal to women, and individual people are not equal to themselves at different points of the day. Like, I'm not equal to who I was yesterday in a lot of ways, right? Like, some days
Yeah.
you're just having a bad time, some days you're not. So, like, this whole idea, and I know people will say, well, I mean,
Like
and then they'll, like, add descriptors or modifiers, like, oh, I mean, like, equality of opportunity.
goose talk
Or-
in the pond.
Yeah, goose talks. I'm just gonna beak off, like Allison says. Beak, like it's a
off.
Canadian thing.
Chirp.
Chirp. Yeah.
Have you heard that expression?
No,
Somebody's
no.
chirping at you.
No, that's Canadian, isn't it?
No.
It
I don't
isn't?
know. I heard it a lot in hockey.
Oh, okay.
Like, if somebody's chirping at you, it means like
Yeah, I
you
never-
beat them up.
Oh, I never heard that before. That sounds like some Canadian. It's a really nice way of saying somebody's being confrontational.
Yeah.
So that's got to be Canadian. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah.
Well, that's why like X sucks and Twitter makes way more sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Tweeting, it reminds me of chirping. It's a bunch of people chirping.
Yeah, I don't know what X. I don't even want to say it. I'm sorry, Elon. You're just not great at that. Not good at naming things, bro. But anyway, so yeah, so the equalist thing is silly. I'm sorry, it's just silly to me. Flag underscore. Oh, your Canadian flag? Is that what you meant to share? For some reason, it's not showing it. It just says
Flag CD.
flag underscore CD. Also in here, it shows that, but whatever.
It's the great indoors.
Yeah.
They're Canadian, right?
No, he's like in. He's over there in the
He's over there.
in the west or something. Like not
Not
he's
my
east.
flag,
He's east of
fortunately.
us. He's east of us. He's in Europe someplace.
Well, maybe people in the chat know. Is chirping Canadian? You say something's
Yeah.
chirping?
I'm from here.
Okay.
Where's here?
He's from the great indoors.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense. Fighting you guys over there. Yeah, he's. I'm over here. Anyway, so equalism, egalitarianism, all that's BS in my opinion. Equality of opportunity, it's BS. It's all BS.
As like some kind of political thing, yes, it's bullshit. But I think that's just like maybe like a woman thing.
It's definitely a woman thing.
And
then.
like it's okay confined to like the home or school or something like
Well,
that.
what does it even mean though? Even confined to the home. What does that mean?
You know what well, it means I think like say you have like a bunch of kids, and like one of them isn't doing as well as the others in I don't know, like math or something like that. And so like you go and you spend extra time with that kid that's not doing good in math so that they can go like you know, raise up like to be more equal with the other kids. It's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like making sure everybody's treated fairly.
Yeah.
And given the best opportunity. It's like it's a feminine thing.
It is
And I think it's good
in the home.
in the home.
Yeah, not in the government, not in the, because that's what's happening now, right? It's all about
like that women brain is being like put out on everything, and it is not good. It's
No.
not a good thing.
No, it's not. No, it's definitely not a good thing. I was gonna say something else. I think that the only thing that really matters is justice. I mean, like the way I see it. Great Indoors says the Netherlands. Yeah, that's where I thought, but I didn't want to get it wrong. I get those Nordic things all wrong. I could say Sweden or fucking, Norway or something, and people will like flip out. So thanks for telling me. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get that right. Windmills of peace, wooden shoes, tulips, all that jazz. I knew he meant to say tulips because I'm like, I don't know what a tuple is. I don't know what that is, but Canadian equality, that's basically the morgue, right? Well, it's turning into that.
Yeah.
It's definitely turning into that. See, that's the thing though. It doesn't have I don't know, like good consequences. I think, and the thing is that the male perspective, it's not even entertained. So like we're basically just going full feminine in everything, and you see it like everywhere. It's like
Women
again
and their Sims.
the Spider movie is like so feminine. It drives me up the wall. I was like, this has missed everything. And oh my god, the Spider Punk. So they have these alternative world characters, these Spider-Men from other universes, and there's this guy named Spider Punk. Now, a lot of people are doing like these fan art designs of various, like they're sort of like ideas of an alternate universe Spider-Man. And I've seen the art, and I'm like, oh, some of it's pretty cool, but and if it's just somebody drawing something and that's it, that's fine. But when they try to actually make it a thing, you lose me. And so, because like the Spider-Punk character has to have a backstory, he basically says that he like fights fascism. Now I want you to tell me what you think he means by fascism, because this is like another one of these really, it's a small thing, or it would seem to be a small thing, but it's not. Like, this is like the language, right? It's a constant thing. They have to continue to reinforce all kinds of shit. So yes, it's defense for Antifa. He's an anarchist, or at least like, an anarcho-communist. I mean, he doesn't explicitly say it because it's not quite a popular enough thing to say, openly, especially in the United States, because we really despise commies and socialists here. And even though there are some, like, it's sort of like an ideology that is becoming more popular with the younger generation because they're not informed. But I think that, like I said, none of this stuff is an accident. So, Graydon Doris says, leftists talking about fascism, it's like somebody shouting and pointing at a mirror. It absolutely is. Absolutely. I'm sorry, but it's unacceptable, in my opinion. Unacceptable. And there is no excuse for defending it. It's like, if a Nazi said, I care about men's rights, I would be like, get out. Sorry. I don't want your perspective. And that's basically the same thing. It's like if a Nazi said, I care about men and here's what I'm going to do. No. Go away. But anyway, I think it's just, like I said, it's like this thing that is constantly being reinforced, and they make these tiny little steps, to change things a little bit. And it has to go. So I don't agree with Animus says the 8 or 9 different forms of fascism. I don't know how many there are, but it's all bad. I don't care. So Great Endor said, I had the same feeling about Allison saying that about communists. Yeah, I don't want to speak for Allison, but I think that she's trying not to alienate people, but I don't see the point. So I'm sorry, I just don't. They're linguistic lizards. Yeah, they are. Anyway, we should probably wrap it up soon, unless there's something else you wanted to say.
No, I think this is good for today.
Okay. Yeah, I got to do a stream later on. So I'm doing after show, because yesterday I was going to do an after show. I know she's saying that on principle. Yeah. I think that she's just trying to leave space, and I get it. But it's like I said before, leftism not at all compatible with men's issues, like full stop. It's just not. It's not.
It's not compatible with reality.
It's not compatible with reality. Yeah, it isn't. It isn't. But I'm saying, like, it panders to women right now, but it's not compatible with them either.
They always pander to women though.
Yeah.
To get elected.
Yeah, I know.
They always.
I know, because it works.
It doesn't mean anything.
No, I know. I'm not saying that they care about women. I mean, like, did you see the studies that have been coming out that the left is panicking about, where it shows that women are moving further left and men are moving further right? And of course, the worry is that men moving further right is a problem. It's like the James Lindsay thing, where he was like, oh, the right has their own, what is it? They have their own like a dialectic or something that's forming.
You know what that means to me is
What?
that like men are waking up to reality and
Yeah.
women are more delusional than ever.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Yeah, I know, but I know, and like the thing is, the left's concern isn't that maybe there's something that the men know that we don't know. The less concern is that they're losing them. Why are men turning into fascists? Is what they're gonna say, right? Why are they becoming fascist Nazis? They're not. It's like it's.
Well, I mean, some of them might be.
I don't. I mean, but those are the leftists men. I mean, that's.
Well, I mean, yeah, like if you, yeah.
Yeah, those are the leftist men that are doing that. Like
The journalists that just like want to take care of their own people with like leftist
yeah,
policies.
yeah,
Yeah, they're still on the left.
yeah. They're on the left. Yeah, but beyond that, it's like, but they're doing it. They're coming. It's still coming from a place where they believe that their masculine virtues or their masculine traits are being used in the best way, right? To protect their people. But like, it's still a leftist thing. Like, a right-wing man just wants to protect his family and his proteges and his legacy, right? And his wife and so on. His line. And there's nothing wrong with that. But like, the fact that it's happening, my main point, this is what Shu said, although I don't know if she's like allowed this to compute completely. She was like, well, why is it like the left only wants to care about men because they want to recruit them? Well, that is why, Shu. Like that's the whole story. There's no mystery, dude. Like, when I had on that guy Tin Men, he was a left-wing MRA, and the thing is that there are areas where that just like his supposed care for men's rights, it has a limit because it depends on the man, right? So if I was like, well, what about a rich man? Well, no, fuck those guys. Well, what about a white man? What about white cops like Derek Chauvin? Oh no, he deserves to go to jail. Well, do you not care about men then? Like he had children, a wife, there was a divorce, or not a divorce, but he's in prison. His kids don't have access to him. What about fatherlessness? No, it's racism. No, what about fatherlessness? What about the welfare state? How did that make things harder for men and boys and children? Oh no, that's not the issue. The issue is the 1%. You don't get it. That's what I'm saying. Like, leftist MRAs are delusional. It doesn't work. And I'm sick and tired of like constantly having to like bite my tongue, which is why I lost my mind, because I was like, but the truth is, okay, this is the last thing I'm gonna say about it. The truth is, men's rights is a right-wing political viewpoint, and we should not be ashamed about that. Absolutely. Being right-wing was cast into a black category, is what I said before. This is why people have to have this, they have this like visceral reaction to hearing the word conservative.
Right.
Right? There's a negative reaction immediately.
I suppose it all gets confused because people like, what are you talking about? Economic right, left, or are you talking about like?
I think that cultural right is.
Normally, I talk about economic left, right, but.
Yeah, but I think that the thing is though, like, I don't think you can disconnect the economics from the social stuff or the cultural stuff.
I think you could a little bit. Like, for example, like a lot of right-wing people, they want to limit immigration, and so therefore, like, they would need government to do that, even if they're generally limited government.
Well, there is a yeah, but like protecting your borders and having a military is the absolute minimum
of
that a
having
government.
A country.
Yeah, of having a country, right? So
yeah.
like that's not a left-wing argument to say we should have a border. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, right? Besides, the left is opening the borders, so that. They want more people to be on welfare. That's what they want.
The great Endor says that's a centric viewpoint.
He might be. He's very sarcastic, so. But go ahead.
No, but I am kind of trying to take the center just to like argue with Brian as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually very right wing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
No,
can
but
tell.
what I'm saying is like if a man goes in the middle of nowhere and he builds a house and he brings his family into the house that he built and they get like a garden and a farm and all that. There's going to be a fence around it. You know what I'm saying? And if a stranger shows up, he's going to come to the door with a shotgun because it's his property. The country is no different. If somebody breaks into your house that you don't want there, they are invading. That that to protect your house. That's.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not okay.
No, and I think that generally that is a more masculine thing. Is to like want to protect your family, your country,
your property,
and you're like a little bit more aware of that. I think the feminine is like more like, oh, like we should let them in. And,
yeah, let's share everything. Yeah, it's okay.
They don't have any opportunities.
And if you're doing that without a sense of like, where did this stuff come from?
This?
I don't know.
Is that a whisker?
Oh, it looks like one of JoJo's whiskers. How'd that get on you?
So thick.
It is.
Weird.
It's one of JoJo's whiskers. What was I saying? Oh, if you're really disconnected from the benefits that you enjoy, like the fact that we have running water, electricity, internet, roads, traffic lights, cops, firemen, hospitals, medicine, etc., you're going to take all of that for granted, which is the problem with people today, right? This is exactly what my grandmother used to say and about to me, right?
Really?
Yeah, of course.
What'd she
say? She would say that we don't appreciate shit because when my grandmother was growing up in Puerto Rico, I mean, they didn't have any of the things that we have.
That's what that's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, I don't know what I would want better. I just don't like this.
Right.
It's not this.
Right.
It's like, well, you didn't even have to work for this.
You see comfort as oppression. You see all this comfort and security as oppression. And of course, yeah, again, it's taken for granted. I mean, remember you were telling me about an ancestor of yours that was like 13 years old and had 3 jobs?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Man, I found some really cool stuff. Like, when my grandma died, somebody looked into like the family history and they found like all of these accounts from our ancestors. It turns out that I'm Romanian, or at least partially Romanian.
Yeah.
And like they immigrated to Saskatchewan, and a lot of the accounts, well, the one account is like they basically built a sod house and lived in a Canadian winter.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's insane. Like people were considered adults at like 11, 12.
Mm-hmm.
And like he was like living away from home for a while. Well, he was like 12.
Yeah.
With a job.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
I know. I'm saying, like, people today have no idea how hard it was for people that came before us to give us everything that we have now. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And like, and that, it drives me nuts that people have complaints. It drives me nuts. And on top of that, don't you think that, like, because my grandmother on my mother's side, so I'm not even counting my father's side, who had like 6 kids. My grandmother on my mother's side had 9 children, and stayed with my grandfather until he died. And those 9 children went on to have children of their own, including my mother. And like, I felt like, people that have come this far. You have people who were in. Most of us were in poverty. Most of us. So this whole thing about like the rich, this bullshit. Like, most of us came from nothing, including, if you trace it back enough, the super rich people. At some point, someone had to do, busted their ass, probably across more than one generation, to build some wealth, right? So, and like the black population of the United States, when they were freed from slavery, they went into the middle class in like one generation.
Yeah.
One generation, and they were in the middle class. And I mean, we're talking about, like you said, people that didn't have anything, and then like
living in a house made of mud,
yeah, and
then, like minus 40 degrees. Like, I can't imagine.
I know. And then And this was like the 1900s, right? The early 1900s. It's not even
late 1800s.
late
early
1800s, right? So it's not that long ago when you think about it. It's not that long ago.
Yeah, it's so weird to think about. Like the internet was like invented in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Like what the hell?
And it's
man?
gotten to the point where it is now, right? And then like, so if you think about that, you think about how many people that came before us made it possible for us to be here now. And then so many of people of our generation, and I'm in Generation X, so not just Gen X, but the millennials, the Zoomers, and now the alphas are throwing all of that away by not having kids and not forming families and not pairing up. I mean,
it's like
you're just pulling the plug on everything because you don't have any
kind of, like,
appreciation.
that's true, but it seems like a natural progress, right? Because like things that we've done since the time of the sod houses have been improvements and improvements, and it's made everybody's lives better, like rich and poor, and like as we've progressed more and more, we even find like conveniences now not good enough, like oppressive.
Yeah.
Like it's
well,
like
we have
progress. Like we don't think having kids is like a necessary.
Yeah, we think it's like
good.
It's actually
it's like it's suppressive. Right?
Yeah,
like,
it's oppression.
You do that? Like,
yeah.
It's interfering with my convenience and comfort over here.
Yeah.
It's gotten to the point where like it doesn't even make a lot of sense.
Yeah, we're self-destructing basically.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's almost like, and this is the thing I also try to get across to commies.
And I'm not saying that like child labor is a good thing. Don't get me wrong.
Well,
I don't think it is. But there's got to be some kind of like balance.
Well, if they want to work.
Like
nobody's talking about slavery.
Well, no, but like it's like to the point where like you have like older teenagers and adults that like won't get a job until much later that are living at home. Like it's like kind of the opposite problem. It's like they don't grow up, right?
Yeah.
Or like those kids probably grew up way too soon.
But isn't that also what feminists want for men? Because like here's the thing, like I guess leftists want this for men. They want men to be more like women, which means they want men to be less enterprising, industrious, hardworking.
They want men to be less.
They want men to be less of that. Yes, because they're basically okay. Women right now, they work most of the time because they just want to be like, they want a girl boss. They want to make money. They want to acquire material wealth. But it doesn't really have like a long-term goal associated with it. It's not. Women don't work to attract a man, right? Because they don't have to. Like, you don't have to have a job to attract a man.
That's true, but I don't think a lot of women know that.
No, I know they don't know that, but I'm saying because they bought into this material worldview, this earthly idea that there is nothing after death, so you have to get everything you can now. And so that's why they work so hard to acquire stuff. That's why women are so materialist.
Well, yeah, and like I don't know why, but women like emulate men's accomplishments. Like they want to do that.
Yeah.
And they want all the props.
Yeah.
Like you don't get the same reward as
no, because men don't like women based on their career choices.
Right.
They don't like women based on how much money they make or whatever. They like women based on their kindness, their fertility, their attractiveness, whatever. Right? It's for different reasons though. So women's work is optional.
Super attractive in women.
Yeah. What?
Gratitude.
Yes, it is.
It's super attractive, man.
Yeah, it is. And it's very rare. But like, but the thing that what I'm saying is the left wants men to be in the same mindset as women because they think that they basically treat them as identical. And so if let me, what was the thing somebody made, I got into a thing with someone about the Barbie movie. No, I saw an article about it, okay? And this guy was making the case of why the Barbie movie is...
We're still going.
...pro-male, okay? In what way? But when you look at his argument, it's all based in this idea that men should not compete, should not achieve, should not try harder, should not basically become realize their potential because it's competitive, because that sets them against men, because patriarchy did this, okay? This is what they think is good for men. That's why there are people who say, oh, this is actually not anti-male, it's pro-male, but it's not. It's not. It's soul-destroyingly anti-male.
Yeah.
Because it wants men to be like women, and the truth is, they aren't. For one, they're not. Full stop. Secondly, if men don't have a higher calling or something else to aim for, something outside of their reach, something transcendent, whatever, then the only thing left is to look to women, because then that's what all these like dating coach guys, these red pill guys are doing. They're basically saying you got to get a woman. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You have to pursue something beyond women.
It's almost like there's something to that Adam and Eve story.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem saying it. Men have to they have to get closer to God, and women will then get closer to men. It's not men going after women. Look at the situation we're in right now. That's how come we have all these baby mamas. That's how come we have all these broken families. That's why we have all these divorce rates, because men are pursuing women for the wrong reasons, and women are not pursuing the right men. They're going after. They don't know what a virtuous, good man is, because there are so few, because of how much we have shit on them and told them that they shouldn't be, pursuing something greater than themselves. And these male feminist types think that it's some kind of it's some kind of toxic trait. That's what toxic masculinity is.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's actually the inverse, right? I think that I think men were really motivated by women's admiration.
Yes.
Like if you pursue a career or a skill and you master it, and women are looking at you like, wow. Like, I think that's very motivating. I could be wrong.
Women motivate men, absolutely. They absolutely,
so
but they have to motivate them to something great. It can't just be.
You know what I think that is? That might be projection. Like, if women are, not admiring men for their accomplishments, maybe what they want is men to admire them for their accomplishments. And they're just, waiting there, look at what I did.
Yeah.
And
I think that's right.
Men are,
but men don't care.
Depressed and lonely.
Yeah, they don't care. I'm sorry, but it's true. I've been doing this for 10 years, right? And I think that men, let's just using YouTube as a job, for example, those men are they get a status based on their achievements in that.
Also,
but
I don't think
somebody Shu or Brittany.
Can I just say something really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm totally interrupting you.
That's all right.
But it's just this thought I'm having. I think when women accomplish things, it's not usually in the greater scheme of things. They don't understand how their accomplishment builds the team or builds the greater goal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the accomplishment for the sake of accomplishment. Look at me. Where I think really innovative men are usually trying to accomplish a goal that helps a lot of people or helps their team, right?
Yeah.
So it's not the accomplishment in itself. Though their mastery is something that women might admire, right? Or other men might admire or aspire to, right?
Yeah.
Women's accomplishment is kind of outside the scope of the greater goal. But anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. I think that I think there's a reason why we love our mothers. So I think that what this is another thing that I think feminism has done and leftism has done more broadly is that they have essentially taken motherhood and turned it into something really negative, right? They have. And I know that a lot of conservatives have made this argument, but they haven't done this in a good enough way.
The motherly instinct
is
being used outside of the home.
It's being outsourced.
Yeah, well...
Sort of. I mean,
it's being brought into politics and we gotta look after the immigrants and the... but it's not actually where it's supposed to be, which is in the home, and building up your husband and your kids.
Well,
and making sure everybody's doing okay, and
it's like what Karen said when she said, "What jobs when women join the workforce, what kind of jobs did they do?" And it was nurses. They went into medicine. They went into teaching. They went into, child care.
Yeah.
So she's like, they're doing all the shit that they would have done as mothers.
I liked how Teal Deer was talking about the cottage industry stuff too. I think that's a good point.
Cottage industry?
Yeah, like that women had, or maybe Allison was saying that, I don't remember. But they were saying like, you know, like how women had this purpose. That was like, you know, they had their family, but they also might have had like a little industry, like maybe.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, I think we've all said that.
Yeah.
Like they would have like their home, but it wasn't just that. It was like they had the home and they had a side gig,
right,
like you said. You know,
like that allowed them still to like.
Yeah, allowed them to parent, but also they organized community. So it wasn't just like a woman in some kind of like bubble. It wasn't just a woman and her kids and like her husband. Well, it was a woman and her kids and her whatever her. And the thing is, with all these like appliances and shit that we've invented to make things easier, that should have only given women more time to pursue these side things.
Kind of, I guess. But what I was gonna say is, I think those like small businesses is like part of the community. It's like one of the better ways to build community, because then you're like interacting with people because you have something they want, or you're trying to make something they want, and so like, and then you compensate, right? Like you compensate each other for that. Yeah. So that's how you kind of build.
Yeah, I know we're live, Grading Doors. We're gonna stop. All right, let me read your comments and then we'll wrap it up. But just a lot going on in my mind. This is what we do in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, let us know if you want us to do more of these, because this is literally like...
This is what we do every morning regardless.
Almost.
Yeah, we talk in the morning.
I mean, if we have a lot of time in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's usually 2 hours.
Yeah. Let's see. Grading Door says about the commies, no, you cannot trust them. They're linguistic lizards. Then he says, but when communists show an interest in men's rights, you just know that they are losing the fight and want to use the MRM to get back into the fight. Well, that's why they demonize the MRM. I don't know if you noticed that, like, you know, when Shu was going through those videos, there were lefties in her tweet thread or whatever, the tweets that she was sharing that were basically like calling MRAs like, you know, alt-right fascies or whatever. It's because they want the MRM. They want the men. Excuse me. Arguing and lounge piano music are a great fit. We're not arguing.
I tried to argue.
Men's rights is a right-wing political viewpoint. Yep. We should not be ashamed. Teal Deer says the 1% who pay over 40% of the taxes to fund your socialism is the problem. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is that men are, you know, like in a socialist system, men are going to be slaves. Like the full stop, they are. Women, if women realize that they're like that they don't need to work because they're going to get money from the socialist programs.
But if you look at what happens in communism, like women and men are slaves.
Yeah, you could say that.
At the end of the day.
Well, they're going to make them work because.
I think probably men get hurt
but
first.
But women, men are and women aren't going to really see the problem. So. Great Doors says left-wing ideology is not humanistic and peaceful. It's about winning and greed. Yes, it is. Let's see. The right-wing position is free market solutions for the social safety nets and open borders. The opportunists will stay away. Valuable people you actually want could still come in. Yeah, I mean, you can have open borders if you don't have a welfare state. You would have to completely remove it. And you'd have to make sure that the people who are coming into your country don't start voting for it. It would have to, because if you let everyone in and they all start voting for welfare programs, then you're still fucked. So you need to, like, the culture itself has to be against that. Child labor helped build Western society in part. If those children would be better off in schools, more people at the time would send them. Okay, I'll stop down.
I guess some like authority was trying to get my ancestor to go to school, and so like eventually sometimes he had to go to school because.
Yeah, but
the like both in Romania and in Canada, the authority comes and is like, okay, you gotta go to school.
Well, school sucks now in the States.
Stop helping your family with the farm.
I think that Peterson is onto something with his like online university thing. I think that people should do something like that, but like get the woke shit out of there, you know? I mean, I would. Let's see. Great Endurance says, overpopulation, dude. Yeah, I know, it's bullshit. From motherhood to sisterhood, I think that's kind of where it is right now.
Fake
Shadow Wolf says, good morning. Hello, Shadow Wolf. Good morning. And then Toby Alting says, funny how they all want, but not that they be themselves. Huh? Funny how they all want, but not that they be themselves. Oh, I see. Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I mean,
like they want stuff, but
they don't want to be themselves.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Dark Horse Podcast had an episode about Web 3.0. Might be interesting to listen to that one. You know what? I got problems with Eric Weinstein because
I did, and then he got a lot of respect from me with the COVID stuff.
The COVID stuff, yeah,
like,
but
I warmed up to a lot of people.
Do you remember Eric Weinstein? Remember when he was interviewing James O'Keefe and he got so hostile? And I'm like, dude, if your guys are being exposed and you see it as your team, maybe you need to reevaluate your team, dude. Like, this is what it drives me up the wall about lefties. Even the moderate ones, they are still so fucking fixated on what the other side is doing or the dangers of the reactionary right or whatever. They're so worried about that.
Brett seems a lot nicer than his brother.
Yeah, I guess. We'll see. I think that after you've had this much abuse, you have to I don't know. You just think about what it means to be on the left. That's all I'm saying. What does it really mean? Because if you think it means tolerance and not being racist and all that, then yeah, you got another thing coming. Brett is on the verge of disconnecting from the left. Well,
yeah, it was the COVID stuff, and you could watch it happen. It was fascinating.
I mean, how was it the Evergreen experience? How was it not that?
It wasn't though. Like
I know.
Still a leftist.
I remember when he was in that Twitter Spaces thing, and the black people were in there, the Black Lives Matter people were in there trashing.
Like, but I'm not white.
And he was like, I'm not white, I'm Jewish. What does that mean? She was like, you're spicy white. And all of a sudden, he was like out of the club. Like, you're out of the club.
That didn't do it either, though.
I know. And I was like, well, how does it not do it? How are you not like, you know what? I think the whole thing with identity politics is a mistake. I think the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, listen to Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson. It doesn't exist. But anyway, I'm going to end the show here. Thank you guys. I hope you're still there, Teal Deer. If so, thanks for coming on and really appreciate all the hard work you're doing. And I hope your brain survives.
Yeah, I want to watch those videos when they come out.
Yeah, I want to watch them too.
Definitely will.
That was some time ago. I know. I don't know. I still watch James Lindsay. So. All right. So anyway, hit the like button and maybe share the video. Give me some comments. Help me grow this channel because I want to do more stuff with it. Thanks, guys, and let me know if you want us to do more of these morning streams. And I'll talk to you all next time.